down, but we'll see who can get set up in cave. It's going to be Fellow. First one in is Arcitys hits through fire cut, and eUnited enjoy the early time inside of cave, but it's Rated hitting from cabin side that's able to play spoiler, at least for a moment, Joe.
Yeah, Rated just got right through that smoke. He ran right through the middle of the field, was able to get to that cabin wall, found a couple of kills, and that's big time, right? That, 10 or 15 seconds could have gone the way of eUnited, but they do retain control. You have Joe, who is able to find one. That's sort of the other key matchup, right? Joe is an AR. He's not traditionally an assault rifle player, where on the other side you have a guy like Clayster, and he can step it up at any moment, but just back and forth trading. We're going to watch that rotation over to Ruins. Watch that number 4. Paradox already has it highlighted for you. Watch that arrow. eUnited already towards that Ruins hill.
It is a 5-0 start for Arcitys, and he's already close to picking up streaks. We'll see if he can do it in transition. Woo! Nice shots. There's one as the beam is out alive and well. 6-0 to kick this one off, and you wondered why we mentioned his stats versus Red Reserve. Well, you found out in the opening 60 seconds as he just continues to go off. But one thing worth mentioning, we've talked about Red Reserve, how they've been good at this map, they've been good at respawns. But they usually win very close on this particular map. Like, how many nail biters have we casted?
I was just going to talk about it, right? They're a team that typically doesn't outslay teams, but they still win. They play the proper way. We'll have to keep our eyes out, but right now it is all blue in that kill feed as Clayster finds a couple of kills. Fellow as well. It's just Joe who's left alive inside of Bell, but he gets taken down, and well, you can see all the red arrows. They're rotating on over to bunker.
Just look at the top right. It was 7 in a row for Arcitys. Fellow has 4 in a row, 2 in a row for Clay. Like, they have absolutely been destroying Red Reserve in the opening moments, but it is a long game one and still a lot of rotations to go. But the big thing for eUnited, you've got the early lead, you've got a plethora of streaks on Arcitys right now, and he's still not missing a bullet.
No, and you have Fellow as well already inside the bunker. I was going to point out what I love from Red Reserve is their patience, their discipline. They win the rotation over to bunker, but it doesn't matter because you have these streaks. Rated, well, we'll see you later. Now RC set up inside this cave. And while it's going to be so easy for him, just has to watch his fire. Nice shots on his scraps. Going to pick it on up. Tries to switch over to that pistol, but he's going to get taken down.
Yeah, that smoke kind of ended up bailing him out as he was able to take the gunfight. It's Felony. It's going to be trying to lock down the front as eUnited look to build this lead. Red Reserve has just not been able to find any kind of opening. They only have 17 seconds on the board right now. It has completely and utterly been the eUnited show so far in game one.
And what do we always talk about? How do comebacks happen when the team in the lead doesn't have streaks? The problem for Red Reserve, you have Arcitys still with the fighter pilot and the artillery. If you can use these well and use them well on rotations at Ruins or over towards that cave, that is when eUnited can put Red Reserve away. So we'll have to watch when he puts, those on the map. But so far, so good for eUnited as we're going to head on over towards that East Road Hill.
Maybe finally a chance for Red Reserve to find some kills and find some time. And this is big because Scraps has got set up near cabin. He's very close to streaks, and we know the potential from this particular spot on the map, whether you're juggling the hard point, finding easy kills,
shot in the back.
You can really build towards streaks, but unfortunately for him, it's Pristini that comes in. He's annihilating everybody inside a cabin, and that early control for Red Reserve evaporates in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, just looking at the scoreboard, besides Zero, besides Trey, nobody else producing anything. You know how fired up Red Reserve is to be on the big stage. You'll watch Scraps, you'll watch Rated on Twitter. They cannot wait for this moment, but they have not shown up yet. And eUnited, they're starting to run away with it.
We talked about Arcitys early, and he's kept it going. But his brother Pristini right there with him. 16-9, 5 kills in a row. The brother duo absolutely lighting up the score feed. They are, 32-13 combined. That's insane.
Hey, I've always said it, including last year when these guys went to back-to-back finals. It's their performance. I always felt like if these two made it back to a finals, they were going to put on a show. And it looks like this could be the event for them. And there is that fighter pilot that's going to be called on in. But still, nobody in the hill right now for eUnited.
One brother streak, the next brother streaks. They just keep flying on in. Red Reserve not getting a chance to get anything going. We're through into our second set of rotations, and Red Reserve only have 24 points on the board. Okay, we've talked about what eUnited's doing right. Obviously, they're on fire. What the hell can Red Reserve do, Joe?
It's going to be tough. You have to hope that eUnited has a couple of bad score streaks that they get called in, but you really have to look at guys like Rated and Scraps. Where are your consistent superstar slayers? They're just not showing up. We talked about it. Rated usually owns this matchup, and they're not doing it right now. This lead continues to grow, and here's the problem. They can get this scrap time. That's when they call in another streak here at Ruins and potentially grow that lead even further.
God, I mean, someone needs to let Red Reserve know the championship bracket has started because they are sleeping right now. They have got to wake up and they've got to do it soon. They're almost already out of this game. They're trailing by 100. The play clock is almost halfway gone already, and now another fighter pilot going to be raining on in. This time it's Pristini, lining him up, 2 kills in, trying to tack on a third. That's a teammate, buddy. Clayster's going to drop, but the damage, it's done, but it will be Red Reserve into the hard point early, so they do have to exhaust another streak.
Right, this is exactly what you want if you're Red Reserve. It was a great play by Scraps. Before that fighter pilot gets called in as he wins another one, he actually found 2 kills. That stopped the push from eUnited, and yes, of course, that team kill comes in. This is the opportunity that Red Reserve has to take advantage of. You know, win that rotation over towards bunker. You can already see what eUnited's doing. You have 2 players towards that cabin side. That's Clayster and Felony. They do not want Red Reserve to get a bunch of time towards that bunker side, which is 20 seconds left here at Ruins.
You know, we mentioned how good Red's been on this map and how sort of average eUnited has been, but again, these are the stats since the beginning of Stage 2. eUnited, from the beginning of Stage 2 to the end, were completely and utterly different teams. They have hit a form we haven't seen all year, and I think you're seeing it in the scoreline right now. But if we've learned anything at all about Red Reserve throughout the course of the year, you cannot count them out from any matchup, from any map.
Look at the artillery. This is the problem. They were a little bit too trigger happy with these streaks. Now Pristini spawns into the artillery. Nobody's in the hill for eUnited. Finally, they find one, but the artillery's gone. This is a big set of kills right now for both teams. Who can get the rest of this time? Scraps, he's trying to get his way into here, able to find Arsenies, but there's just a load of blue arrows, and it's just Zero, the last player alive.
They're so front-loaded onto this bunker, and finally there it is. The control and the break with 30 seconds remaining. They can continue to push out this lead, and again, the lead is scary, but the play clock is scary as well, because you have to think if Red Reserve start to come back into this, it's one of those games that might go to the final seconds of the play clock.
Yeah, but a great job by eUnited to just take control of that bunker. Again, they invested a good amount of streaks here at Ruins and at this bunker. I'm not sure if they have any left. Scraps now trying to do the best he can, which is 5 seconds left. We're going to go towards that East Road, and as you said, the play clock, that's really where it starts to go down, because it's so tough to have control of East Road.
Is this eUnited on fire or a flat start from Red Reserve?
I just think it might be eUnited on fire. I mean, the Twins right now are going off. Arceus has not slowed down, but we'll see if Red Reserve can sort of wake up. Again, it looks like Reddit and Scraps, they started to bring it back a little bit. Maybe that's where you've seen sort of the momentum shift just a bit, but it's still a 110-point lead.
Well, Scraps trying to make the plays here. There's 2, he lines up. Nice shots with the PPSH as he gets control of this wood wall. Trying to lock down cabin. His teammates finding as much time in the hard point as they can. A cheeky little flank around through ice. That's a gunfight you're probably never going to win. And finally, he will end up falling, but the lead still, it's just hovered around 100 points for what seems ages, Joe.
Yeah, it definitely hasn't. Well, with just 20 seconds left, Red Reserve trying to get on that hill. Zero having a pretty solid game, not a ton of time in the hill, but he is positive 3, the only player positive, but it's Joe, who's 12 in 26. Remember, Joe is that flex, he is that second AR, and when your second AR is double negative, it just can't happen.
You can win games with Joe not going off, or even have maybe slightly poor games. You can't win games with Joe at 12 and 27. Can he turn it around down the stretch and somehow muster up a miracle? But the scoreboard against him, the play clock against him, hell, the stadium even against him, as I'm hearing the eUnited chants start to light up. But this has just been, from basically the opening second, eUnited's game. And still, Arcenies and Pristini have not slowed down whatsoever. They have just torched Red Reserve from the opening moment till now.
And this is all they need to do, just keep pressure on the hill. Felony able to win that gunfight on the Joe, able to find another one as well. And while they can just contest, it doesn't matter. They'll take the 20 seconds off the play clock, as you said, or he'll just challenge the gunfight and win it. Now he's close to streaks, and well, his teammates started to rotate on over towards Ruins. So you have Arcenies, and you have Clay in position, but Red Reserve gonna try and get this scrap time and win it if they can, but it's just Zero. So Felony, can he find streaks? He can. Just 25 points off that artillery. He's gonna call the glide bomb in right away. He's across the map, but he can help with his bomb.
It's going to connect and pick up one, so early control to Ruins. Despite the fact that Pristini gets caught reloading, he's still able to connect and challenge a second gunfight before he ends up falling. But it's another artillery, what, our third or fourth in this one that gets dropped at the broken side of this Ruins hardpoint. eUnited now just 25 or so points away from closing out this game and potentially 100-point clubbing Red Reserve as Fellow chops them down from behind. Red had just not been able to get anything. There's not even been like one hard point I can think of where I was like, good, that was Reds. They finally got some kind of control.
And what did we talk about pre-game? We felt like eUnited, if all 4 players are on, this is the eUnited you can see. It's with 1 or 2 players tend to struggle at times. Usually it's Fellow or Pristini if they have an inconsistent game, but look at that scoreboard. Everybody positive, everybody around even. eUnited just going off right now. They've taken control of this map, just 9 seconds away from taking this map 1.
Yeah, hell, even in the objective by committee.
But you only got 94 points.
Yes.
Did we get tacos here?
Here we go. 250 up for eUnited as Red Reserve get cooked on map 1. Well, Joe, not super close.
No, and we talked about it. Obviously, we're going to go to St. Marie Dumont, Search and Destroy up next, but this was a very strong map for Red Reserve, even in the matchup. You saw that fly-through. It was a 5-1 lead for Red Reserve in the respawns.
One thing about this next map, when you're talking St. Marie, and specifically when you're talking offense, eUnited and Red are the 2 top teams on offense, 68 and 67% win rates respectively. So they dominate on the offensive side of things. They are both so good at it, and Red's been a treat to watch on this map. eUnited, I mean, think of them. Think how annoying they are to play on this map. They've gotten a team like Rise Nation to rage. Remember when Fellow was getting all those flank kills and TJ Haley was getting a little spicy on Twitter? Like, they can be very frustrating to play, but how does Red bounce back from that, man?
They have to bounce back, and you look at a guy like Rated, who at times can take over and search and destroy, but he didn't have the best map 1 performance. Scraps as well started to turn it around, but if they can get going, if Joe can be that sneaky guy on the map, maybe, they can get right back into this match.
So we know, obviously, that Red is started in the losers bracket quite a bit this year. They've had to make some crazy runs.
Well, what did I say on trading shots?
Yeah, you thought this might be the case. They'd have to make a run again. So I guess my question, are you surprised by the slow start at all?
I am not, because I think they are a slow starting team. It has been really their kryptonite all year long. Guess what? Oh, we get to the final, but we have to beat Rise in 2 best-of-5s, and it's just so difficult to do time and time again. The problem is, even if they win this winners round 1 matchup, they may have to face Rise or TK later on. It's just going to be very difficult for them to do. But if they can get through the winners bracket, if they can force a team to try to beat them twice, we know how tough that is. And this Red Reserve team, they need that momentum.
Well, you talk about pumping up the guys and trying to forget that game 1. Is there anyone on the Red team that you think just has to be the vocal leader, has to get them going?
I think it has to be Scraps to sort of just mellow them out, right? I wouldn't say the vocal leader,
got the vibes,
the
right?
positive vibes. Listen, it's map 1. It's our first game. Maybe the jitters are there. I mean, look at the stage. It's beautiful here at Nationwide Arena. I mean, maybe these guys just felt how pumped up the wave. Sometimes the adrenaline can take over. You make some silly mistakes.
Let's see if they can fix those mistakes when we get to the game 2. Red absolutely have to answer. We mentioned that the first 2 maps were so good for Red, but they've already dropped the first one. It already spells at least an extended series, you would think, if Red can answer back. But I just don't know. With the way eUnited's playing, maybe it's just a lopsided series.
Yeah, and we'd love to see. You just saw that banner. Yeah, eUnited has one of those. Red Reserve does not, but they've been so close all year long. And you heard Burns in that pre-match interview. They want to play against Evil Geniuses later on, because we talked about at Seattle, it was a chance for eUnited, but they lost Sunday morning early on to EG.
There's the full best-of-5. So we're headed to St. Marie. It'll be Flak Tower for map 3 as well. eUnited, they were fired up after that game 1 victory. Just talking through strats now as we get into map 2. Fellow can be a nightmare to deal with on this map. We know Clayster, his ability in search and destroy. Pristini, he's gonna be flying around without abandon sometimes to try and make plays. And Arcidy's one of the most consistent players in the game. Red have got their hands full.
No, they definitely do, but we know how good Red Reserve is on this map. They just have to get into form. They have to just calm themselves down, make those decisions. We'll see if they can do it right here, starting with this map. You feel like if they're able to tie this up, we go the distance.
Well, and you think, it's like, yes, was that game 1 a blowout? Absolutely, but we've seen it all year. You bounce back, you win the search, that game 1's forgotten.
Yep.
You basically are starting all over with a best-of-3. Like, you can completely erase that blowout. It's a distant memory, but you gotta get the game 2 victory first.
Thinking about Envy and FaZe just earlier today.
Yeah.
You felt like FaZe was just gonna run away with it, and they didn't. Envy able to fight on back, but that's always the big thing with Search and Destroy and Hardpoint. Hardpoint is a game where you can just run over the opponent, but Search and Destroy is a time for them to get right back into it.
We talked about how good these teams are on offense. The 2 best in the CWL on St. Marie. We'll keep an eye on that, and the offense gets the opening pick. The pressure towards A. Scraps finds 2 as he burns right.
Wow, that was fast.
Scraps just got all 4. He just got the ace. I think he was held forward and gunned every player.
And you saw the strat. That,
what is this?
That was just lined up. That was an easy 4 kills. You can see it right there in the kill feed. But you saw what eUnited was going for.
They felt bad about the game one. They beat him
Threw
so
him
bad
around.
that they lined him up.
But you saw Pristini and Fellow. What did they have? They had on 2 mountain classes. What does that tell me? They wanted to go for very fast flanks. But Red Reserve, they switch it up. And yeah, Scraps 4-0. What a start for him.
That was absolutely unbelievable stuff from Scraps, as he's already working towards streaks after 1 round. Can he keep it going? An explosive offense from Red to open things up.
And well, another A push out of eUnited. No early aces though on the side of their side, but we'll have to watch Scraps. Can he earn some streaks as Rated and Arcees do trade kills? Now at 3 versus 3. And you can see both teams kind of doing the opposite as Arcees just melts Scraps right there. But you do have Zero going all the way around, but on the other side, yeah, Rated gonna find an easy pick, but where is the pressure? The other 2 players of eUnited actually took Red Reserve side.
2 versus 2 now, under a minute to play. Bomb getting planted. It's gonna be on Zero and Rated to now work this retake. Looks like they want to sync up and work together. Fellow just got eyes on 1.
Now that should tell Red Reserve where the second player is. Yeah, he's set up towards his sandbags. That's going to be Pristini. Zero going to try and work his way up. That's a nice stun out of him. That'll give him some map control. Now Rated and Zero starting to push on up. The nade does connect, but Fellow there to help out his teammate. Now a 1 versus 2 for Rated.
Such a tough spot to be in. Little time to work with. 10 seconds to go. Rated has to try and make a play. Nothing he can do. He will drop, and eUnited able to answer back. So 2 rounds, 2 offensive victories.
And you just have to imagine the prep that both of these 2 teams did into this, right? Like you saw Fellow and Pristini. What was the play call? We know Red Reserve loves to hit B early on in their offenses. Let's run mountain. Let's go on quick flanks. But instead, it's a counter by Red Reserve, and Scraps finds 4. So both these teams just have to make those mid-game adjustments. You see the communication right there between eUnited.
Here the chance getting started for eUnited right now as they get around on the board. Here we go into round 3. It's Red back to offense. Scraps looking to add more kills on after that incredible ace in round 1. They're right back to this A side of the map. Pristini just saw the tip of a head for a moment. Tagged up and re-peeks. But again, it's A site control for Red Reserve, and they're just gonna go ahead and get this down. Every player from eUnited stacked up on the B side of the map. That's a free plant.
Yeah, but what is always the key when we talk about these 4v4s? It's always that first blood, and Clayster is able to get it, but Joe, being that sneaky player, able to find 1, and then he gets great position. It's Pristini, but he hits the shot onto Joe. But watch that one, number 1, right? Keep our eyes on the Scraps. He's gonna be that playmaker. He has so much map control. It is so difficult for Zero to defend this bomb site from that side, but Scraps actually gets flanked. Now a 1v3 for Zero. What can he do? He had the best game 1 performance for his team. He throws that nade down, but he's gonna get flanked by Clay. A great retake out of eUnited, and really Clay finding that first blood.
And that first defensive round win on the board. eUnited with back-to-back rounds. Sensational retake, like you said, and we'll see if they can keep it rolling. If you're just joining us and you missed the game 1, eUnited dominated. 100-point club Red Reserve. Looking to keep that going now in the search and destroy. Let's get right back into it. Can Red even the odds? Zero's gonna get right in with an airborne sniper class, try to get the angle, but it's actually Clayster that peels Joe before Zero even gets vision on him. Clayster wants to keep pushing. He's gonna challenge, almost hits the snipe, but Zero able to pick it up. It's now a 3v2 for Red. Bomb outside of B, Rated, ready and waiting. Fellow last man up, and he's 1 shot.
Yeah, what a shot out of Zero. Not only that second one on a Clay, but the first one, he had Pristini who was rushing him through that bottom restaurant. After that kill on Joe went down. So he responds with 2 snipes, and then Rated able to lock down that B site. Now a 1v3, as you said. We'll see what Fellow can do. He doesn't have the bomb. There's not a ton of time on the clock, but he does have Mountain. That is one good thing for him.
He's also kind of close to streak, so how do you want to play this out right now, Joe? He's not that far off. 175 from a glide bomb.
I wouldn't even challenge anything. Maybe he gets into a corner, tries to find something, because you know what players love to do. They love to be behind this table. I'm very surprised he went for that jump peek. But you know Fellow, he loves to be that guy to take those 1v1s, and yeah, he's just going to take this position, and we're going to run down the clock.
He takes a gamble, but now that he's got this position, you sort of guarantee yourself a kill if it's a one-on-one with somebody checking that position. But you see Red Reserve just kind of hunting as a flock right now. seeing if they can pick him up, make sure to trade the kill, make sure he doesn't get streaks. But with their position and 5 seconds on the clock, this will take us to time. So Red able to get it done. They'll tie it up at 2-2, but we'll have to keep an eye on Fellow as he's working towards those streaks.
He will be on that defensive side, though. That's always the side you don't want to be on when you're close to streaks, right? You're not able to get that bomb plant. And well, if Red Reserve, if they take another bomb site very quickly, it's on the Fellow. Do I go for this? Do I play with you guys? Do I just want to play my life? We'll have to keep our eyes out on him.
Well, it's interesting, too, because a player like Fellow maybe wants to play fast, trying to find an opening, get a flank, but when do you still go for it? When you're this close to streaks, or do you maybe play a little bit more slow for a pick? And, well, with an AR out, I think that answers the question.
Well, he might get an 8 kill right there. He can actually does find one, so he just needs one more kill. But you do have Red Reserve inside that B site. You see Scraps near the bomb. But eUnited, A-OK with playing this retake if they have to. Pristini, it's not always easy to have that sniper in retake situations, but you have that machine pistol. We'll see if he can find a pick. His rated starting to move his way up, and yep, he's going to start this plant.
You've got 2 players at the backside ready to pinch, and then Clayster can peek from the top. The nades are going to go in, but they just got straight out of the site. These aren't going to connect with anything.
I'm just waiting for Joe to yo. Watch that number 2 arrow. I have a feeling he's going to yo on a big flank. Yep, he's going to yo for it. You saw he had that mountain class on, and he's going to go. Joe, this is what he is known for. But Clayster is waiting for it. Clayster's waiting for it, but he loses the fight now at 3v2. As Pristini does find a snipe, but it's just unrated, but he's still alive, and he finds a kill.
Fellow still close to these streaks. Can he find the kill, or can Rated make the clutch? 15 seconds down the clock. The pressure is going to come in. He's able to connect with the first, second player here, trying to play his life.
He's done
Dance
it.
around
He's
the
done
cup.
it.
He's able to do it and stay alive. He hasn't been hunted, and he gets the kill as Rated toys with his food and comes up with the clutch.
And that is just a confidence player right there out of Rated. Arsenes, he read that very well, but Rated his bullets with that hipfire connect. He's able to clutch it on up, and you'll see this. As soon as Rated finds that first kill, here comes Arsenes. He reads it perfectly, he jumps it, but Rated just gets around the corner, and Fellow, he just has to play the 50-50. What a play out of Rated.
Think about what he just did. Not only did he clutch, but that final kill stops those streaks. Yeah. He basically just did everything. Like, all the momentum you had after those back-to-back rounds for eUnited erased. Is Red now come running into this one behind Rated, making the clutch.
Zero almost gets that snipe on a play, but now a very similar situation for Rated and Red Reserve. You have a player who's so close to streaks, and Pristini just runs on through, but they have to play the retake now in a 3 versus 4. But watch the flank. You have Joe and Scraps pushing so fast towards that winery side. They cannot waste much time. They're trying to find Clayster, but all of eUnited have backed on up to help them.
They got to go. I mean,
Red Reserve might be out of this round already. And well, Joe, see you later, pal. Now a 2v4, Scraps. Not gonna find, well, he will find that kill, but just 20 seconds left.
Shouldn't matter, right?
It shouldn't matter, but we'll see what they can do. It's just on a 0 now.
Last one up, not enough time to work with. Well, there's enough time, but there's 3 players remaining. And he's gone. Pristini just flies around the edge, hits the shots, and they will secure the round. So it's like you get the momentum for Red, then eUnited answer. No one can get a whole lot of rhythm going, a whole lot of control in this game.
And I just think it's funny how both defensive players who were very close to streaks played around the same play style, right? They played around the B retake, but the first blood goes the way of that offensive team. And, well, then you had a great play out of Rated, but right there, it was just clean by eUnited, and you could see why teams get frustrated to play them, because Pristini throws a nade, just challenges out of that doorway. That is very unpredictable.
He's like, in his head, he's like,
he doesn't care.
I'm safe, this is great, I'm in a good position. Pristini comes soaring out. Yeah, he can be certainly frustrating to play against. Combine that with Fellow, and it's a headache.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what Red can now do on offense as we're tied up at 3-3. They're favoring this A site, but there is a fast push through B for eUnited, and they already have man advantage behind the first blood from Arsenes. And Red's in trouble. Look at like their map control and positioning versus eUnited right now.
Yeah, you have one player watching the cross. Fellow, he's going to find Rated. That's going to be an easy kill for him. Does he spot Zero as well? Zero is able to find Pristini, but Fellow just trying to stay alive, and he finds all 3. What a play by Fellow with that grenade.
That is what aggression and speed can do for you. Think about how early we were into that round and how little information Red had compared to eUnited. Like, they're already having to look at their flank so fast.
So if I'm Red Reserve, how does that happen? They throw the smokes A early on, and then that is when Fellow and Pristini just go. If I'm Red, I'm throwing the smokes, and I'm just waiting. Just wait for them to pounce on out, because those are easy kills. Those are the mid-game adjustments we have to watch for.
Well, we're in the mid-game now. Can they start to adapt to the aggression from eUnited? eUnited now back to offense. Fellow is 8-2. The ability to take over a search and destroy by himself. It's been a team effort. Well, Felony's out of this round. Basically, immediately, Scraps finds another first blood. Scraps finds 2. He's been finding his kills in flurries. Think 4 came in the 1 round, then 2 there. Outside of that, he's been uninvolved.
And I'm actually surprised he doesn't back up after that first blood. I thought he was going to get naded. Instead, he finds a second kill. Is it going to be a third? No, Arseny's guns him down, so now a 2v3.
I thought another ace was coming for sure when he peeked that, but unfortunately, Arseny's a little too accurate for that to happen. Smoke now out to the A cross. They're going to work to get this bomb planted. Rated will be playing in the back. He's still got help in red and mid map. They have the man advantage.
Wow, look how they're playing this. They're both going towards that middle of street. Zero, though, he's going to find one. Arcees is there now, a 1 versus 2 for him, but a lot of time on the clock for Red Reserve.
Can Arcees clutch? They're both right in front of him, able to stay up for now. He's 1 kill off streaks as well. Joe's coming forward. He hits the shots. There's the glide bomb.
I'm calling it in, but instead he's going for the challenge.
He's gonna hit the shots. He hits the shots. Give him the streaks. Give him the clutch. Arcees making the play. I thought he was dead to rights when he goes flying out there.
So
what
the
a
reason
snap.
he doesn't call it in is he thinks Rated's already on the bomb, so he just challenges the gunfight. What a clutch out of him. You saw there was just 12 seconds left. But Joe, why are you challenging that? Wait for your teammate right there. Just maybe some miscommunication between Red Reserve, but a beautiful play out of Arcees.
We highlighted Rated and Arcees before this series.
Yeah.
You got a clutch from Rated, a clutch from Arcees, but eUnited now a round away from a 2-0 advantage in this best of 5 in the winners round 1 of our championship bracket. Such a do or die map for Red Reserve right now. They get a first blood behind Joe.
And you already have Joe top red as well. He's going to flank that B site.
Jeez.
He's going to find 1, but Pristini able to snap on a 0. But Red Reserve, the damage is done. They're going to hit the B plant. You have 2 players towards that middle. Rated has to be careful here. He might get naded. There's no one over to help him. Nobody's watching over him. And well, Pristini's going to have an easy kill.
Kill comes in. Now it's going to be a 2 versus 2. Pristini spots one in the back. The other player is top red. Glide bomb coming in, but Scraps gets dropped through the wall. Pristini's able to hit the shots. Arseny's 5 in a row. Pristini 3 in a row. They took over game 1. They took over game 2. The brother duo is ripping Red Reserve to shreds.
You have a 3 versus 2 if you're Red Reserve, and you just throw that one away. A lot of miscommunication, and again, a very poor performance from a guy like Joe. It just cannot happen on this stage.
You gotta feel, if Arcees and Pristini continue to play like this, they could beat just about anybody.
Yeah. They absolutely can. This is a team in eUnited. What? You have TK and Rise maybe a little bit below them, but eUnited has beaten both of them before. They're able to do it, and when they're able to win those hard points like that and clutch up in those search and destroys, it's going to be very tough to beat them.
I thought this was a series that was going to go the distance. I really
Still
did.
may.
If there was one mode that we talk about Red Reserve maybe being a little weak, it's the CTF. So, in your gut, do you feel this is a 3-0 for eUnited?
I think so. Just the way that these guys are shooting right now, the communication between these guys is on point.
Clacer's got the boys fired up, but the story has been all the brother duo. Pristini, Arcees, absolutely taking over. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's eUnited versus Red Reserve. This is the 2018 CWL Championship. 16 teams remain, and we are trying to crown one world champion. The crowd getting hyped. I'm loving it. But Joe, are you a fan of statistics?
I am.
I have a statistic for you.
Is it you or JP who sent it?
Oh, it's definitely not me. Definitely not me. It's straight from JP. Red Reserve, this roster, never, ever since forming have been 3-0. Not one time have they been 3-0.
That's a great stat, but I mean, right now they are facing a whole different beast in eUnited again. Red Reserve, this is their weakest game mode since they formed as a squad. They are 15-17 overall. Not the best, and well, eUnited, again, they're rolling right now.
It seems like they can do no wrong. Like when you're playing like this, it's like we talk about it, you know, obviously you're a former pro, you run to those teams that are just hot, that are hot on a given day. Sometimes you're hot Friday, sometimes you're hot Sunday. Hopefully you get to Sunday and that's when you're hot, but you just feel like that's eUnited right now. They're just a literal flame.
Just it feels like they are simply outclassing Red Reserve in every regard. The ARs, well, they're winning all the clutch gunfights that they need to, and well, the subs, and you can see it right there, a guy like Pristini, #1 in CTF caps since stage 2, 1 cap per 10 minutes. And well, he's having a great series here.
Does he have one more map? Him and Arcitys have been electric. Or can Red Reserve finally wake up? Or is this eUnited squad in this form at the championship just too damn good? These next 10 minutes will let us know. It's sniper out for Pristini. Yikes, he seems to be able to do everything. He runs flags, he runs around the sub, he's aggressive, he hits snipes.
What kind of confidence is that? I'm gonna dolphin dive out the front and just snipe the guy left side of the map. He does get taken down by 0 as both teams fight for mid-map control.
I like that line though, because you say, what kind of confidence is that? The biggest conversation about Pristini all year long has been confidence. Now he's got it, now he's terrifying.
Yeah, now RC starting to push on up, able to find 0. I thought he was gonna be able to make a play, but Fellow in a 1v1 with Rated. Rated gonna back on down, just regen his health. As both teams once again fighting for that middle of the map. Trying to get pushed on up, waiting for those players to come off respawn, and Joe just not having a great start, not having a great series, just runs in a Fellow as RC's finds another one.
Map control for eUnited as they start to layer the map, pushing up. Another kill comes through. 2 players off spawn now for Red Reserve. A great chance here for eUnited to collapse. Pristini just barely able to trade out the kill. Tries to melee dive to safety, but gets cut down. Now it's going to be an Arcitys and Fellow just kind of maintain mid-map control, make it difficult for Red Reserve to get anywhere, and that's exactly what they're doing. Yeah,
they're just trying to stagger them, right, and then get all 4 of their players pushed up so they can make a push. But on the other side, it's Raiden and Scraps who find some kills. Fellow has just stayed alive for so long since the start. That's why he still has the STG out. He's not a guy who usually runs this. But he's had it since the break, and he's found 3 kills. He's locking down the gen side of the map. Nades can't kill him. Nothing can touch him, but watch that #7. That's Scraps. He's able to get into a very good position. And Red Reserve can get a couple of kills. This is a scoring opportunity for them.
And unlike, like you see the #2, it seems like they're aware of Clayster on the map. It doesn't look like they're aware of Scraps at all right now. I haven't seen anyone go hunting. Now do they know something's up is what I'm trying to figure out.
Definitely no. Pristini wrapped on back in 1 player and Fellow spawned up gen side. It looks like watch #4. It's Pristini, low gun side, might have an idea.
You need the flag. You need the flag. Grab the flag, Scraps! Okay, on the 3rd try, he is able to grab it.
He's done now. He's cornered. You think he's nervous a little bit?
Oh, that just frustrated me. That was hard to watch.
And you think if he's frustrated, look at Joe 0-5 on the map. Just can't find anything right now. And Joe is such an important aspect of this team. He's the sneaky guy. He is a playmaker for Red Reserve. If he can't get going, this one's all but over.
They've at least been able to hold off any kind of onslaught from eUnited, but you got to think now that Fellow has dropped and he has a sub in his hand, more pressure is going to be there for this eUnited side. As I say that, of course, Fellow dies.
I think that's the one interesting aspect so far is eUnited has locked them down. I would say they're on the preferred side and they have not made a team push whatsoever. So if you're Red Reserve throughout 3 minutes, you're probably pretty happy it's just tied up 0-0.
3 kills in a row for Arcitys, 3 in a row for Pristini. Another map, another dominating effort, but they need to get a point on the board. So far, all even. But there's been, what, I mean, the only time anyone's got near the eUnited base was Scrap sneaking through. Outside of that, it's just been control from eUnited.
This is some Champs CTF right here.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
Nobody
Oh,
wants to make a mistake, but Red Reserve, this is their first attempt. Joe and Scrap starting to get pushed on up, but I said it. Joe has to be that guy, able to win a gunfight, but it's traded out. But that allows Zero and Rated to get pushed on up. Can they take advantage? Just no. RC's going to stop them, and now it's on Rated to slow down the eUnited push.
I think that nade backs up Rated, so he's not really there able to assist. Arcades wins the one-on-one at home and then pushes out to find another kill. Now Fellow in an aggressive spot. That's a difficult gunfight, so he's going to turn around, live to see another day.
Watch
Scraps has gotten through again, but look at this. They're just going hunting for him. Fellow and RC's immediately track back, find an easy kill. No one sneaking through this back line of eUnited.
We'll have to watch RC's. He's having a great game, quadruple positive right now, but he's at 550. We'll see if he can get some streaks, but
I like that. If you're going to play this control mode, if you're going to play slow,
earn streaks.
Exactly, earn streaks. That will be the difference. Play aggressive then once you get the streaks. If that's your plan of attack, you just got to get the streaks.
We'll see if they'll capitalize on this, but as we said, we're 4 minutes in and neither team has had any opportunity.
Champs CTF.
But even for on the side of eUnited, they haven't gotten aggressive. Red Reserve, who's been basically outplayed this entire time, has at least had a touch or two, but Clayster and RC's are just locking it down right now as Clayster does find Joe, but Joe gets away.
15 seconds remaining. Nobody really in a position to make a play. It looks like we're gonna head into the half with a draw unless Joe tries to go in for some kind of crazy touch. That doesn't seem to be the play. Final seconds will tick and the first 5 minutes are in. So yeah, I mean, not a ton to highlight. I guess the one touch he had, the one interesting point was with Scraps. If he got the touch immediately, I mean, I still don't know if he makes a play there, but maybe more of an opportunity.
I think it's a 1v1 instead of a 1v2. Honestly, I think he runs it towards Pristini or he gets out, but yeah, you can see the nerves a little bit. I know he's a guy who's all about the vibes and the confidence, but you can see it affecting him.
Think about how much that messed him up, because you wait for that kill to come through and grab it right after. It took so long that the player that died was up by the time he tries to go. That's a big blunder.
But again, if I'm Red Reserve and I'm looking at the scoreboard and what's been going on throughout this series, I'm happy that this is 0-0 because
oh sure.
Well, Zero.
Good stun.
He misses a nade right there, but Scraps, he's going to win a one-on-one against Fellow. And maybe get pushed up. You can see how aggressive he is. Again, it just feels like Red Reserve, while they haven't had map control, they've been the aggressor. But on the other side is Pristini, who might have snuck through. And he's just going to go for a flag pull, potentially. Nope, just backs on down.
I think it's Clayster died. He's just going to wait for a second. See if his teammates can pick up any kills.
Though. This is such a big play. All of his teammates go down.
Right.
Now, what do you decide to do? This is always a tough position for a player. And he's going to try to pull it towards his teammates who spawn on up.
Unfortunately for him, Rated will be sitting at that mid-cut. He'll have the angle. He's trying to put shots in. Clayster trying to be the guy that looks over him, gets him to safety. They're trying to get this home. eUnited's trying to make the play, but Scraps is able to find the kill. The return is not in yet, but a second one.
But watch on the other side of the map. The other side of the map, the return may be coming in. Fellow putting the pressure on. Can he get the dive? It looks like he will be. And RCC has the pull, and both flags may be returned here.
Looks like they might get returned. This is an insane moment. eUnited up 2-0. It's been chaos thus far. It's tied at 0-0. I'm going to go to an Astro Gaming listen-in with eUnited.
He'll be our top circle, too.
Holding our lobby in top circle.
It was 0, he had airborne. He's going to be stunned.
Push spawn up.
I don't see him there.
We're trying to trap us in.
You have our lobby?
I'm trying to trap us in.
I got a lobby.
I'm piped.
Get top gun, get top gun.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Pushing out left right now.
They're waiting for us. They're sitting on a
They're waiting for us.
Oh, once they're small gun. They're god heady. He's shooting me across the
I'm
map.
looking at
Watch
top gun.
out.
I'm looking at
I'm
top
sailing
gun.
our lobby.
Need a trench or something.
Give me our top or sitting front.
I'm here to help you back.
One in pipes.
Need it.
In pipes, in pipes. Balance, pipe stairs, pipe stairs.
I have to give up.
I got it, Alec. I got it.
You're good.
Don't push out back
Nice,
door.
alright. Zero scraps rated.
Pipes, he's out. He's boxes.
Zero scraps rated.
I have our bottom lobby still.
I'm gonna go top gun.
I don't see anything top lobby.
Yo, one's their top window.
One was boxes on me. One was boxes on
And
me.
one's their back left gun.
Nothing top lobby.
Back left gun, one bullet. If you want to challenge him, he's on small gun. The backside of small gun, one bullet. To your right, yeah,
I'm holding all of our lobby. I'm
He's
holding
gonna
all of our
regen,
lobby.
he's gonna regen, dog.
I'm holding all of our lobby.
Two push him. Two trench, two trench.
Joe's
Another
one shot.
one,
another one.
One's their small gun. They're small gun.
An idiot.
Alright,
Nice.
small
We're
gun.
looking for scraps. We're looking for
He's
scraps.
trench. He's in trench.
Rated small gun.
Yo, we're still missing one too.
We're missing
Yeah,
one.
scrap,
Oh,
scrap.
fuck. He's come back.
Go right,
I
guys.
spawned here. I'm clearing out our outskirts.
Nobody in trench. He went small gun or
One with
something
pipes. One
still.
with pipes. I'm giving
Okay,
the top.
I'm looking. I got boxes.
Back door.
I'm small gun. I'm there small gun. I'm there small gun.
I'm holding pipes. I'm
One
holding
big gun.
pipes.
Big gun.
I
Watch
got
out.
pipe,
Rated.
I got pipe.
He ran back.
You gotta get in my middle. Yo, yeah, he pushed out top lobby.
Red pillar dead.
Nice, good up.
Another one on me. Woodsex. Coming back for you.
Guys in pipes.
Coming back for you, Woodsex. Looked like. He went front of lobby, front of
The
lobby.
other guy's pipes.
Good shot,
One
good
shot.
Two,
He's
two.
our front window.
Go
Our
left,
front
go
door,
left.
I mean. And then one was right. One was right.
Picking up outskirts.
2 off spawn.
It could be our little
Yeah,
left.
what's that? With that?
I'm top gun
He's in our
right
front lobby, front lobby. I have one
Yo,
shot.
one
I
more.
can't
Boxes,
challenge.
boxes.
I'm going right. I'm going
I
right.
flank gun.
He's still holding it.
He's got an AR.
Did.
I got
Yo,
one
boxes,
left.
boxes.
done,
Help
right?
him, boxes. Help
I'm
him.
chasing.
One more, our bottom green. Our bottom green. He's in our bottom green. In our bottom green.
Go
I
short.
spun Oscar.
Yeah, in our bottom green.
Bush there.
Tyler,
He's
stay alive, Tyler.
Yeah, he's our back left. Our back left. too.
I'm shooting.
Back left. He's
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out.
back middle.
He's one shot with armor.
I'm naded
2
too.
on their peg, one's
I
their
don't see-
pipes.
I don't see my
One
base.
their middle doors,
Back
one
there.
green. And one was pipes.
Flank gun,
Nice.
flank gun.
One
Oh,
shot
one shot
pipes. One
pipes,
shot pipes.
absolutely.
Alright, I'm pulling out a fucking infantry or SCG.
Yeah, you're good.
Outskirts. Outskirts dead.
Is it scraps in
Top gun,
rated?
top gun. Raiders.
There's.
Yep, big gun, my bad. I lied.
All right. I'm
Big
going
gun.
a little left.
He was their side.
Joe, I think that listening told us exactly what you were talking about with Champs CTF. They are so focused on every man up, every man down, looking to make zero mistakes.
It's very surprising to me because you think you have a 2-0 lead. I'm just saying to my teammates, let's gun these guys, right? But they don't want to make any mistakes. They do not want to, allow Red Reserve to get another chance. But yeah, you can tell. Paradox, can you actually pull up this scoreboard for me? I want to look at those returns. I mean, yeah, on the side of, of eUnited, who you feel like they've had most of the momentum, they have 4 or 5 returns because Red Reserve has been putting the pressure on their base.
The pressure has not yet led to a score, though. We're only 60 seconds from potential overtime unless somebody can make a play. Both teams just fighting for mid-map right now. Raided's going to get cut down. Man advantage to United. Perhaps a chance here as Arcides finds the second.
But look at Fellow. Yeah, Fellow is just, they know they have to find Joe. And well, another player going to back on up. That's Arcides. And well, he is 24-10 by the way. And he's going to get this return. So 50
there we go.
points off that streak.
Yep, very, very close to streaks. Maybe you just think about getting the streak, taking it to overtime.
This is an opportunity for him right here. 1v1 versus Scraps. Who's going to win it? And he backs on down. I love that play. Then Pristini, his twin brother, going to come back and help him. Scraps does win that, but can he win the second? Arcides, there's a glide bomb. So a huge play for him. Can he find any more as Joe continues to put the pressure on? And well, Fellow and Clay take those kills.
I think if you had like 20 seconds more on the clock, you think about pushing right now. You have 3 down, use the streak to end the game, but unfortunately, not a lot of time to work with. The final second will tick, and we'll head into OT 0-0. But they have the 1 streak, though. That's got to be the biggest thing.
That is an opportunity for them if they take advantage of it or if they have to get a clutch return. But on the side of eUnited, you have Arcides, who's 25-10, but Fellow and Clay are sitting about double negative, not having the best games.
Arcides series has been insane.
He's been pretty good today.
Yeah, you can say that. He's got to be floating like a 2 OKD? He has to be.
I would imagine so. This one definitely helps.
Let's get into overtime now. That glide bomb, can they make use of it early? Pristini will have the snipe out yet again. No dolphin dive mid-nap. We're gonna hold a safer angle this time around. C0 for just a moment, but not
Both
able
of
to
these
hit the
teams,
shot.
man. Finally, looks like Joe's gonna get pushed up a little bit towards this side of the map. He has the help of Zero. And well, this is an opportunity for Red Reserve. They take that mid-map control and they just go. They fly right into eUnited base. Joe the first one up and he wins a gunfight and the flag is out. Arcides, he's the first one up. Does he call in the glide bomb? He's trying to stop the flag touch. And well, he might have to call in the streak.
He's gonna do it now. He's gonna call it in.
That player has
spawn deep.
protection. Yeah,
His
he's
teammates
gone.
spawn deep. He's already gotten into the base. This is not gonna connect with anything. They have to get across the map. Red Reserve is going to strike so quickly. In 50 seconds, they get it. And Joe, who has had a tough series, gets 3 kills. 3 on that run.
Yeah, again, he is the playmaker for this Red Reserve team. If he's getting kills, this is what happens. And again, I'm just so surprised the way eUnited has played this.
Remember, what
it's
do we
so
say?
defensive.
Red Reserve has never been 3-0'd.
Well, we'll see. 40 seconds. You can see what eUnited's doing. They're all pushing towards this gun side. Zero going to have a lot of players to deal with. He's going to back on down as he's very weak. He has the help of Joe. But Pristini and Co are already here. This is a chance for eUnited. These kills
He
that
doesn't
are
finish the
so
kill.
important.
He doesn't finish the kill, and now there's a chance for him to make a play. Everybody's dropping. Scraps is gonna be the last man. He has to make the clutch. They're pushing him though, and he's weak. He's gonna drop. There's a chance to make the play. Clayster trying to pick up mid-map. He does just that. Go, gotta go. 15 seconds remaining. There's enough time to get it done. Arcides does the victory lap, and there's the 3-0. What the hell was that CTF? We have 10 minutes of nothing.
Why did they do that the whole game?
And then overtime is insanity.
I mean, you just saw the aggression that Red Reserve was playing with, and they were trying to do that, but the kills didn't go their way. And